It was supposed to be a simple family dinner. Nothing fancy, just a regular Sunday with Mom, Dad, my 2 sisters, and me. The kind of evening where we sit around the table, eat too much lasagna, and pretend everything's perfect. Like we always do. But then, of course, Ava had to go and ruin it. There I was, quietly digging into my plate, trying to avoid the usual drama. Zoe was scrolling through her phone, lost in some TikTok video, while Dad, Luke, was cracking his usual jokes, trying to make Mom, Daisy, laugh. I was in my own world, happy just to be left alone for once. But Ava, she wasn't interested in peace. No, she needed to stir things up. I found out that Sydney's been sneaking around with, wait for it, Tommy. Tommy. The name hit me like a brick. Tommy wasn't just some guy. He was my secret. The one I'd been texting for weeks. The one I'd been talking to when I couldn't tell anyone else. But now Ava's throwing him into the spotlight. Mom and Dad went quiet. You could feel the tension in the room like a live wire. Dad's face immediately went from casual to serious. Sydney, what's this about you and Tommy? I couldn't breathe. My heart was pounding, my mind was racing, and all I could do was sit there like a deer caught in the headlights. On the other hand, Ava was already spinning her story. She was texting him all week, and I saw him here when Mom and Dad weren't around. When I asked her about it, she didn't deny it. The lie hung in the air. I could feel every ounce of trust my parents had for me slipping away. I opened my mouth to defend myself, but then I stopped. I thought about it. Why fight it? What if I just let her dig her own grave? So I stayed quiet. And that silence was the first step of my revenge. Ava thought she had won. She thought she'd outsmarted me, throwing me under the bus in front of our parents, and now she was basking in her victory. But little did she know, she was playing right into my hands. I didn't confront her. I didn't correct the lie. Instead, I let her believe she was the one in control, the one who had turned my world upside down. For a week, I let her enjoy her little victory. Every time she walked into the room, I smiled at her like nothing had changed. Every time she made a snide comment, I took it with a calm smile. She thought she had broken me, but what she didn't realize was that I had already started playing my own game. I needed a plan, and I wasn't about to give her the satisfaction of seeing me panic. I wasn't going to confront her with anger or a gotcha moment. No, my revenge was going to be far more complicated and far more devastating. I started texting Tommy more frequently, letting Ava see me interact with him. But here's the twist. I wasn't texting Tommy in a way that would make her jealous. I was texting him in a way that made it look like we were planning something big, something Ava would never expect. And then I sent a text to Tommy that would light the fuse. I can't wait for tonight. It's going to be perfect. Let's make it all work. I made sure Ava saw it. I didn't have to say anything. Just let her read it. Let her stew on it. Let her think she was about to catch me red-handed. But that's when I pulled off the first move in my game. The text wasn't about Tommy at all. It was about a different guy, a guy I'd never mentioned before, someone I made up, someone who would stir the pot even more than Tommy. Ava, of course, couldn't resist. The next day, I watched her as she read the text I'd left visible. She didn't confront me, no. Instead, she went straight to Mom and Dad. Her next move? To set the trap even tighter.
She's still lying, Mom. I saw the text. She's been planning something with another guy, not Tommy. I think she's sneaking around with him, too.
This time, I couldn't stop the smile from creeping up my face. I didn't even have to say a word. Ava had already dug herself in too deep. Mom and Dad called me in for a talk later that evening. Ava wasn't there. She had made sure to stay out of the loop for this one. She thought she was going to get me to confess, thinking I'd finally crack under the pressure. But I didn't crack. Instead, I did something that made everything Worse. I know what's going on, but I won't tell you everything, I said calmly. I looked at them both, not with guilt, but with a quiet confidence. I'll leave it to you to figure out who's lying and who isn't. But you'll have to trust me that I'm not the one who's been deceiving anyone. Mom's face was a mix of confusion and hurt. Dad didn't speak for a long moment. He just stared at me, as if he was trying to make sense of everything. But that's when I made the real move. I told them the truth, but I left out a critical piece of it. I let them think that I had been seeing someone else. I didn't tell them that it was all a lie, that I had manipulated the situation to turn the tables on Ava. For the next few weeks, everything began to unravel. Ava tried to corner me, tried to get me to confess to the lies she thought I'd told, but I stayed calm, staying one step ahead of her, twisting the situation just enough to make her doubt herself. Every time she tried to throw accusations my way, I'd give just enough of a cryptic response to make her believe she was in the right, but it was all smoke and mirrors. I played it perfectly. Ava started looking paranoid. She couldn't trust anyone anymore, especially not her own words. She couldn't even remember the lies she'd told, and that's when everything came crashing down. One night, at another family dinner, Ava snapped. She was clearly on edge, her nerves shot, and her eyes darting around the room. She couldn't take it anymore. She stood up, pushed back from the table, and blurted out, "You don't even know the half of it! But before she could say anything else, I dropped the bombshell. "Ava, the real question is, how long are you going to keep up the act?" I said, my voice dripping with calm malice. "You've already lied to Mom and Dad, and you've turned everyone against me. How much longer are you going to keep pretending you're the one telling the truth?" The room went dead silent. Ava's face drained of color. She looked like a deer caught in the headlights. Ava's world came crashing down in an instant. She had no idea what was coming, no idea how much I had set her up to believe she was the righteous one. But once I laid it all out for her, she crumbled. Her carefully crafted lies were exposed, and I was left standing there, victorious. Was I wrong for letting Ava lie to our parents for so long? Maybe. But honestly, it wasn't just about getting revenge. It was about letting her experience what it felt like to lose control, to be the one who was played. But now, I want to hear from you. What would you have done in my shoes? Would you have let the truth stay in the shadows and played the long game? Or would you have confronted her head on from the start? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever been betrayed by someone close to you? How did you get back at them? Let's talk about it. And hey, if you love this story, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more jaw-dropping revenge stories. You won't want to miss the next one.